Hi everybody. Today we're going to talk about making inferences. And the cool thing about making an inference is it's the same kind of work that a detective does. Let's take a look at this chart. All right, you're going to see the question, what is an inference? An inference is when you figure something out that wasn't completely explained. And how do we do that? Well, we take clues. We look closely at those clues and we use them together with what we know to make an inference. Let's take a look at this example. Last week, my daughter came barging through the door.
Mom, Daddy's upset. The car's down the road.
When Olive came barging in the door and said, "Daddy's upset," I knew something had happened that was not so good. But then, when she said the car's down the road, I was confused. I didn't have enough information. I knew that there was something going on that might be negative, but the car's down the road, I just needed more information. So I glanced through the doors and look at what I saw. So, you saw what I saw, right? The car was on the side of the road and the hood was open. That was enough of a clue for me to put everything together. Daddy's upset, the car's down the road, and the hood is open. Now I had enough information to figure out that the car had broken down. So now let's take the leap. Let's take the leap from real life to reading. What does making an inference look like as a reader? To try this work, we're going to read about a very special gorilla named Coco. Take a look at this page of text called Coco's Kitten. And here's what it says. Over the years, Coco learned to sign more than 1,000 words. That seems important, and it might be a piece of information that I can use to make an inference. She used her hands to express her feelings and her needs. Wow, this gorilla can express her feelings. In 1984, Coco received a pet kitten, which she named All Ball. Coco's teacher asked her to tell a story about her kitten. Coco signed, "Coco Love Ball, soft, good cat." When Coco held the kitten, she saw its claws. "Cat do scratch," the gorilla signed. Wow, so Coco was able to sign a little story about her cat and explain that cats scratch. These all seem like really important pieces of information. Over on the right side, it says, Coco can have a conversation with a person by signing her thoughts. Yet Coco understands more than just sign language. She also understands about 2,000 words of spoken English. Wow. I can see a lot of pieces of evidence that add up. I can see that Coco is a very intelligent gorilla. So let's take a closer look at the evidence that we collected. We know that Coco can sign more than 1,000 words. We took that clue and we put it together with the fact that Coco can express her feelings and she can have a conversation with humans. When we put all those pieces of evidence together, we can make this inference that Coco is a very intelligent gorilla. You might be wondering what Coco looked like when she was doing this work. Well, take a look at this video.
Coco, can you find something soft? Is there something soft here? Yes, that's soft. That's soft. That, yes, I feel it. It's nice. What color is that? Oh, yes, it's orange. You're very smart. Good apple. Okay, but first let's look at something. Let's get a new one. Take that one out. Let's see, which one would you like to look at, Coco? We have 3 new ones. Which one? The monkeys. Okay, the monkeys. Monkeys, all right. Let's see. I'll get them out. Okay, here, let's change. This one. Change them. Okay, finish that one.
Okay, now it's time for you to try this work a little bit more independently. I'm going to show you another page from the same book. And on this page, we're going to read about a gorilla scientist named Dian Fossey. And we're going to take a look at some of the work that she's done with gorillas. Watching in the wild. Fossey, the baby gorilla that lived at the Columbia Zoo, was named for Dian Fossey. So they actually named a gorilla after this scientist. She was an American zoologist who spent almost 18 years studying gorillas in the African mountains. That seems really important. In this case, 18 years is a really long time to study an animal. By observing the animals in their natural habitat, she found out just how smart wild gorillas really are. Dian Fossey wasn't sure what the gorillas might do when they saw her watching them. She gained their trust by copying their sounds, movements, and actions. Wow, she copied their sounds and their movements and their actions. Dian Fossey named each gorilla she studied. She made history in 1970 when she touched hands with peanuts. It was the first time a human was ever known to have touched a wild mountain gorilla. Wow. This woman seems really, really significant. She seems like she has done a lot of important work with gorillas. But how can I take these clues and make an inference about Dian Fossey? Well, let's see what we can put together. I want you to pause the video and write down a couple pieces of information that seem really important. Okay, so you've taken a couple minutes to jot down some of the details that you collected and thought were important. Maybe some of your details are the same as mine. We know that Dian Fossey spent 18 years studying gorillas. That's a long time. That makes me think that maybe she's a really dedicated scientist. But let's see if the other clues add up to the same inference. She studied gorillas in their natural habitat. That means she was in the forest with them. That's still a lot of dedication. To live in the forest with them and not in her comfortable home. She also copied their sounds and their movements and their actions. Wow, I think maybe she's dedicated and brave. Let's see what else we've collected. She was the first human known to touch a wild mountain gorilla. That tells me that, yes, she definitely is brave. So we see evidence that she is dedicated, and we also see evidence that she is brave. So I can jot my inference. Dian Fossey was a dedicated and brave scientist. All of my clues add up to that inference. Now, if you have a curious mind, you're probably also wondering what Dian Fossey's work looked like. Let's take a peek at her work in the jungle.
In order to study them and learn about the behavior, Dian had to get them used to her. And that process is called habituation, winning the trust. The habituation process is not nice, because you're upsetting this family of gorillas day after day after day. Dian's methods played on the gorilla's curiosity. So she would behave in ways that would elicit a curious rather than an anger response. When she was climbing a tree to get a better look, she would deliberately ham it up. And she found that that got their attention.
I've gotten them accustomed to me by aping them, and they are fascinated by my facial grimaces and other actions that I wouldn't be caught dead doing in front of anyone. I feel like a complete fool, but this technique seems to be working.
It seems our inference that Dian Fossey was dedicated and brave certainly is true. Okay, so remember, whenever you're making an inference, You're thinking like a detective. You're looking closely for clues or pieces of information that you can put together to draw an inference or to figure something out. So whenever you're reading, or even in your everyday life, you can be making inferences all day long. So let's talk about your assignment for today. In the attachments, you're going to find 2 short video clips on how gorillas live, and you're going to watch both of them. They're pretty short. You're also going to read the piece of text that I've included in the attachments. Using the 2 videos and the short piece of text, you're going to come up with your own inference about silverback gorillas. You're going to take the chart that I've included in the attachments, and you're going to go ahead and write the details that helped you come up with your inference, and then submit that chart. If you have any questions, just send me a message. Enjoy learning about the silverbacks, and I look forward to reading your thoughts.